They believed in each other, their family, and a vision board that kept pulling them forward. On this episode of The Women Behind the Whistle, Morgan Jackson sits down with Shemeka Gray to share the sacrifices, the wins, and the lessons from a life lived for the game and each other. This interview has been a long time coming. I have been so excited about this. I mentioned it to you at the beginning of the season, but I was like, we got to wait till something really big happens. So thank you so much for joining me.
I'm glad to be here.
I think we have to start with this beauty right here.
I know.
I mean, we might as well just it's still in the show. The SIAC championship. Out of 3 years here, Coach Gray has made it twice, was able to win it all this year.
Yes.
How good did that feel?
It felt really good. And the one reason why it felt very good to us is, as a family, we do vision boards.
Okay.
And this is what Coach Gray put on his vision board the last 2 years. And so for him to actually have one of his, one dream come true, to have one of his visions come to pass is very exciting for us.
With the new year coming up, can you talk more about those vision boards? Like, when did y'all start? What made y'all start doing that as a family?
I don't know what in particular made us start doing it. However, we are a family that believe in the power of your words and having a vision for your life. And so it's been several years we have been, as a family, making sure that we plan what direction we want to go individually. And so it's just always been a tradition to just come together and figure out which direction you want to go and put some vision, put some actual steps in place to get there. And so I'm just delighted that the children can see, we all can see that it's very important to be positive and be optimistic and to write your own path or your own vision, and it can come to pass.
One thing I feel about vision boards is you kind of got to have some belief with it. You got to believe Absolutely. It's going to happen. And I remember before the season even started, it was during fall camp, Coach Gray, he made me believe. Even though I already believed in them, I remember it was fall camp, he told the guys, we can't believe in y'all more than we believe in ourselves. Can you speak more about Coach Gray's belief in what he's been able to do here and the talent he's gotten here?
Well, I'm always about telling stories. So a story that we've been telling the kids, or telling our family, is I remember it was in July. We always do family trips with the extended family, and I remember one of the sisters mentioned, November 29th, I can't remember the exact date, but they were like, Quinn, will you be able to come to the celebration that we're going to have? And Quinn looked directly at the sisters, at all of us, and said, no, we're still going to be playing. We're going to be in the playoffs. And when they won and then they proceeded to go on in the playoffs, we said it, he was like, remember I said it? And I said, yeah, you said it with conviction. You believed it. You said it with confidence. You told them, no, you were not going to be there because you were going to be in Auburn. You were going to be still playing. So with that, he believed it and he was convincing. And of course, he sold it to himself. He sold it to the players and to the coaches, the entire staff. And so I am just delighted that he was able to do it.
Yeah.
And the team and the players believed, like he said, he was convincing. He even convinced you were going to be there.
I was.
So definitely it's a blessing to see it all come to play.
Yeah, I think Coach Gray mentioned that. He said it was his sister's birthday or something, and he told me, he was like, I told her I wasn't going to be there. And
he said it.
Yeah. As a wife, how do you support his vision?
Oh, it's tough, but the rewarding part of it all is, just like I mentioned earlier, just him having a vision, and in that vision, being so optimistic, and then we're able to see these things that he is declaring coming to pass. So it's really easy then at that point to just be the cheerleader on the side and be supportive. There has been times where it has been difficult to just sit and be supportive, you know, especially when you have your own profession and you have your own things that you want to accomplish. However, you just know that it will come in time. And so it's been easy when we see the fruit of the labor.
Can you talk about one of those difficult times?
Oh, of course. So he has made many transition in his career, many transitional times in his career, but of course that played a role in the family dynamics. So I will never forget, he was, for his career, he said, well, I want to leave. He was at Alcorn University. He said, I want to leave here to take a position in Memphis, at University of Memphis. Of course, it's an analyst position, but of course it's a D1, a Division I school, which will possibly be very beneficial pertaining to my career. Of course, the pay was not as, you know, where we wanted it to be. There was no benefit. So therefore, I had to be the one to step up and do some things to keep the family where we were used to being financially, of course, with the benefits and all this. And when he called me, I started freaking out. No! But at that moment, I did calm down. I stopped having my adult tantrum. And when I calmed down and I said, I trust you. If you feel it will get you where you need to be in your career, I trust you. And it's not easy. However, I trust you. And so I'll never forget that moment. I'll never forget where I was when he called me. But not even a year later, he did accept the job here as the head coach at Albany State. So therefore, it was at that moment when he called, you know, making that transition, I was like, no. Of course, it was further away from us, where we were in Tallahassee as myself and the children. And so it was a little difficult at that time.
What got you through those times?
Definitely my faith, and my belief in what we had established in our marriage. Definitely love. The love that we have is unconditional, meaning it's not based on conditions, you know, our feelings or emotions in that moment. So definitely just having a supportive extended family was pretty good for us. We do have a great extended family that is very supportive. So multiple things got us through.
So during that time you're staying in Tallahassee, you think he comes to Albany State, okay, that's closer. But before that, it's essentially a long distance marriage.
Absolutely.
Was that, I know it was not easy, but how often were you seeing him then?
The nature of our marriage because of his career, he has made many transitions to, and was not there not living in the home with the family, you know, just being off to do the things that he needed to do for his career. And so we would, you know, especially if it's the season, I would go over for games, or he would come back when it's the off season. But we had to be intentional about our communication. You know, he doesn't like iPhone, so he had to get an iPhone to FaceTime me.
Coach Greg, can you get an iPhone, please? Like the Galaxy is a bit much. It's a bit much.
He has an iPhone, so he forced him to get an iPhone to FaceTime. I don't like this thing, but I'm gonna FaceTime you. And so technology helped, but being intentional about communicating. It was, you know, we had to set times, like okay, before we go to bed, make sure we communicate during the day. Let's take time to stop and communicate. So being intentional, because I think that is a struggle in relationships, just mere fact of communicating. So we just had to be very intentional about making sure we check in and communicate on a regular basis and being consistent. So definitely that was a major piece. I remember us during the time of being, being in two different cities. We set times on like Wednesday evening. That was like an early day for him, but it was a time where we intentionally set a time to connect. I have an hour just making sure we do some team building activities or communicating about what's going on in my world and his world, but we had to be intentional about it, and we did. And so I still have it on my calendar where it pops up the time that we would carve out to make sure we would communicate in depth, just one-on-one time together.
Being on the other side of that, how do you feel like that strengthened y'all's marriage?
So yeah, I always tell people it brought us closer together, in a sense, because I feel like the saying, distance make the
Time
heart.
apart makes the heart grow fonder.
Yeah, and it did. I remember when he was in Atlanta, like he took a position at a high school in Atlanta. And of course, I was still in Tallahassee. And when I would go to Atlanta, because there's so much to do in Atlanta, it was like when I get there, like, let's go here, let's go here. It was like we were dating again.
Aw, that's cute.
So it has been good. And I tell a lot of people, I said, hey, we made it work. We made it work. We we made sure we had things in place to make it work. So it was rewarding for us to see that we didn't just allow what we had to dwindle away.
Yes,
we
ma'am.
worked hard to keep what we had strong, and it made it stronger.
Yes, ma'am.
Because it made us work a little harder.
That's beautiful. Anything worth having is worth working for.
Absolutely.
Now, during that time, a lot of the coaches I speak to, when their husbands moving around, the kids are young, but I assume y'all had teenagers at this time, especially when he was like at Alcorn.
Mm-hmm. And he had to make decisions about the boys going with him. So the boys did go with him when he went to the University of Memphis. So they were there for a year with him.
Okay.
So it was we've had all kind of dynamics. And so that's the beauty of it, just figuring out what works for your relationship, your family. And it's not going to always match what someone else is doing, and that's okay. But just figuring out what's best for the children, what's best for us as a whole. And we were able to do that. Then when he transitioned back here, we were like, we don't know what's going to happen, so let them come back to Tallahassee. Mm-hmm. And they, stayed and did ball in Tallahassee. So it's just things of that nature. You just make the best decision for the family, and because the boys went to the school where he used to coach. So
Lincoln.
Yeah, Lincoln High School. So in all of that, you just slow down and do what you feel at the moment is best for the family and the children.
Now, you all have a blended family.
We do.
And that is so beautiful.
It's a lot of work.
I can't imagine. I can't imagine. How are you able to get that on one gray accord, one accord?
So, listen, it has been fun. And it has been fun and it has been challenging. One thing I always say in blending a family, you have to be mature. It's not going to work if you're going to be a crybaby and a whiny baby. It's not going to work if you're not going to keep the children the focus. And that goes with all parties. And so we had to learn that with time. We just had to learn that it's not about us. Of course, us as the parent. We had to learn that We have to do what's right for the children. So in that, we had to coach ourselves through that. It's not about us. It's about what's best for the kids. It's not about us. It's what's best for the kids. So in that, we just had to constantly coach each other. I know you want to say that, but it's about the kids. I know you don't think that's right, but it's about the kids. So you have to always keep that focus and keep that in the front. And it's not easy. It does require, like I said again, being mature about it, and not being driven by your emotions. That's a whole different lesson or task, or that's a whole different lesson. but you do have to always just remember it's about the kids. And so once we were able to get past that, when everybody's together, everybody's different, and it's so fun. It's so funny. One is super quiet. One is real loud and talk all the time. One is laid back like that. So, he say what he want or when he feels he, want to interject. So it's fun now that they all come together. Everybody has a whole different way of work. So you have to learn. Each kid is different. You have to learn. We can't say what we want. We can't talk to that kid like that one, or we make it say this to this one, but that may not work with that one. So it's just it's fun.
Okay.
It's fun. It's interesting. But I like when they're all together because, like I said, it's not a dull moment, and everybody's different, and it's fun. Now I love to play games, so it's a whole lot of fun when we come together. A lot of competition. We have one that said, "No, that's all right. I don't want to play." Then we have one can't wait to get through the door and play the games with me. So it's good. It's like I said, it's had some challenges.
Yes, ma'am.
But we made it through, and so I always say it's love. It's unconditional love. That's what I go back to. We're gonna all have our flaws. We're gonna have things that we don't like about each other, and we just have to work through them and be okay with having hard conversations. That's what life is. There are going to be times where things are difficult, and you can't just tuck your tail and just run. In blended families, you're going to have a lot of hard conversations, but it's for the best. And so we've mastered that. And I think that goes along with our career in a sense. I'm a instructional coach, and of course we know Coach Gray is a athletic coach, but at times in both of our professions you have to have those hard conversations in order for improvement to take place. So we apply it to our lives with our children and with each other. I don't want to have this conversation with you, but guess what? I do, in order for you to become a better person. So we do that a lot in our personal life, and I think that has made the blending a lot better, knowing that we got to have these hard conversations, but it's for the best.
Now, you being an instructional coach, him being an athletic coach, it sounds like, oh, that's easy, but I'm sure it's easier said than done. Between the two of y'all, how many are there?
The kiddos?
Yes, ma'am.
It's 5 kiddos.
5 kiddos. Mm-hmm. What a fun bunch. Yeah. What a fun group. Now, can you speak more about what you do professionally?
So I'm an instructional coach. Of course, I started as a teacher, elementary teacher. And so my focus is literacy. So I love that. That's my passion. 1 or 2 years when I was in Florida, and my principal said, "Hey, we want you to teach math." And I said, "No, ma'am, you don't want that." And so she pushed the issue. And soon after a year or two, she's like, "No, we're going to have you go back to reading. I tried to tell you." So, yes. So I'm a literacy coach, where now the role is more so, of course, I used to teach students and children, but now it's more I support the teachers.
Nice.
So just like an athletic coach, You do what you need to do to develop athletes, student athletes. So in my case, I do what I can do to help develop the teacher and to become a better teacher in the sense of teaching reading. So that's what I do. I love it. That's my passion. I love to see the children start here, and then the teachers and I putting in the work to make adjustments and improvements in certain areas. And then at the end, you see that the children have made a lot of improvement in the area of reading. So definitely it's rewarding. It's because this job, you don't get the accolades and pay, but definitely intrinsic rewards for seeing the students excelling, as well as the teachers growing and becoming a better teacher. So
I have a big spot in my heart for educators. I come from a long line of educators, so I appreciate that.
yes.
Now at FAMU, did you major in education?
Yes.
Now, did you and Coach Gray meet at FAMU?
We did. So you want to hear the story?
I'd love to hear the story.
So we had a class together. Did not know him at all. We had a class. We're sitting there. I'm sitting there doing my work. Of course, he was not. He was gazing at me. So it was funny. So after class, I'm walking to my car. He follows me.
Not follow you?
Yeah, his story might be a little different, but that's
I'm sure it will
that's
be.
not accurate. Okay.
Okay.
He follows me to my car, and then after that, of course, somehow he found his way in my group to, do a group project. I think I probably did all the work. So he came over several times, and we were friends. Actually, he introduced one of his good friends to my good friend, which was my roommate at the time, and they actually got married. We didn't get married right off the bat. He wanted to do his thing. I did my thing. I got married, and then once I divorced, then Coach Gray and I connected again, and it was history after that. So, yeah, we met at FAMU.
The story was just already written when you guys met.
Yeah. So, and we joke about that all the time. I say, yeah, he was playing games, then, but
he always knew what he wanted.
Yeah, he came back.
Now, did you and Coach Gray date? Did y'all reconnect? Was he in the league then, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he was closer to the end of his career then. So more so after a little while, he said, okay, I got to hang up the cleats and coach. And so then that's really where our relationship took off. He was a little more calm, stable,
I get it.
Slowing down a little bit.
I understand. I was going to ask what the difference is between being married when he's playing, but yeah, I guess y'all weren't married when he was still playing in the league.
Right. We were
dating. What's that? It's a little.
It was interesting.
Interesting.
It was interesting. It was fast. Had to keep up with him, and I was more so to try to keep up a little bit. And so I said, I like the slow life. You like the fast life. So, but eventually he was like, no, I like the slow life. I want to slow down and make a commitment. So he did eventually.
So how did y'all rekindle? Did he slide into your DMs? Did you see him out at homecoming?
No, actually the friend that I'm referring to.
Okay.
My college roommate and his friend, they were married. So they married in college. And so we would always connect, and after, once I went through my divorce, she said, Quinn's been asking about you. So that's how it all started. Got back rekindled. So, yeah.
So even though when he was at FAMU, and obviously I was not around then, but you read about him, he's like, Coach Gray was that guy back then. Mm-hmm. So were you just not interested in that? Or
we were friends.
Okay.
We were friends. We went to the movies together. We would hang out. We went to Kapalua together. We were friends, but I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I think he had some things going on, but we'll talk about that later.
You never know. You just never know. You never know. FAMU, obviously a special place for you guys. That's where
It
y'all met,
is.
Rattler Love. I can see this picture now I saw when y'all were younger. I'm like, oh, they look so good together. They look so cute. I think I'd be remiss not to ask this question. With FAMU dismissing their coach, could the Gray family be back in Tallahassee?
I don't know. We're just taking one day at a time. That's in the air, we know. However, we're just enjoying the space or the spot where we are now.
Okay.
Being here at Albany, we have been here. Everybody has been really gracious, open arms. Even where I am now at Radium Springs Elementary, I love it. We love the people, and so we're just enjoying that. And I don't know, we'll see, but we love it here.
Okay. Okay. When it comes to moving and all the things, I know this would be a easier move. I know y'all still have a home there. You have family there. As far as you go, I know he has his own things that he looks for in the next job. What is something that, as his wife, you look for when he takes the next step?
Well, I always say, he knows, I always say, don't be led by money. I always say you want to also make sure that the people support you. Because sometimes you can get in a position and you want to do your job efficiently, but you just don't have the right resources, the right people to stand and support you to do your job effectively. So I always say, always pray about your next location and just make sure you get a clear heart, understanding of, will you have the support that you need to do your job efficiently? So that's number one. And we're really big on making sure it's the right fit, just the right place. It's not, like I said, it's never about chasing material gain or things like that. It's more so just making sure that you're able to do your job effectively, but you need that support of your the people that matter the most in helping you do your job effectively. So he knows I kind of pump my brakes and I'm like, no, let's pray about this one. Let's slow down.
Well, you definitely have support here in Albany. We love Coach
Yes.
Gray. South Georgia has definitely been behind him, especially the historic
Yes.
run they had this year.
Yes.
A whirlwind of a year that you said was already written on that vision board. Have to ask you one more thing. This is how I end every interview with Coach Gray. And I always ask him, is there anything else you have to say? He always says, no, Morgan. But is there anything else you'd like to leave us with?
No, I just, like you said, Albany, the support has been tremendous and really genuine people here, and we're just blessed to have had the opportunity or to just be here to I'm just delighted that what he put on his vision board was able, he was able to have the student athlete, the coaches understand the vision and the plan and for it to come to pass.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for joining me. I enjoyed this conversation.
I did.
Thank
I
you.
did too.